Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is Connecting Communities with Brian J. and Laura Lee. I did it right.
You
Let
did.
me tell you how many times I practiced that. Laura,
So many times.
hello.
Hi, good morning. How are
Morning.
you?
So Laura and I did something different today. First off, we didn't talk before. We just basically said, "You ready?" Yep. Okay. Click. Here we are. And number two, we are Facebook Live right now.
Oh my
Ooh,
gosh. The
I know
pressure. The pressure.
the pressure. It's like an oven cooker, right?
Oh yeah,
True
no,
story.
this is
So
fun to do Facebook Live.
I know. I figured we'd do it for a couple minutes and then we'll shut it down so people will get to watch the show later.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Rocco has ate my lighting. So it happens. So I'm sitting in this kitchen with this horrible lighting. I have a hat on backwards because one, my head is shiny with this bad lighting. And two, if I put a hat on like I would normally wear and flip it around, then you don't see my face.
Yeah, you got the shadow. Yeah. But you know what? I don't mind. It's not a bad look. I like
So
it.
I tried. Then I had glasses on, and look, I have scarves. I tried so many different things, and then I thought, oh my god, I had it over one eye. Like I was a
Oh my
fashion trendsetter.
gosh. Oh
Yeah,
my
who
gosh,
would have thought
Brian.
that I would be a fashion trendsetter? Okay,
I mean, who wouldn't think that though, honestly? Everybody, it's 2021. Everybody can be a fashion trendsetter.
right. I love your
Well,
fashion trend. The
thank
t-shirts that
you.
you wear on Wednesday mornings with us.
Thank you. Yeah, good old Juke Mode. Gotta shout out to them. They're a local Toledo's t-shirt. They make t-shirts and sweatshirts and all types of stuff.
Yeah.
There that supports the community. This was part of their Better Together for supporting businesses at the beginning of the pandemic. So
Awesome. Well, today's guest, Mike, which he's supposed to be here, he has not texted me back, so maybe not. Maybe next week. Mike keeps teasing us. But I remember we had the quick conversation before where he and his partner had Three Kings Clothing, which is another local.
yep.
They print press right there. It's just amazing. And then he took that even further, and that's where he leads from the front, and he works out in the community and showcases the leaders in Toledo and Maumee and surrounding areas, which I think is pretty cool. I'm hoping that he will be able to pop in this morning with us, but if not, there is a lot to talk about.
Yes, there is.
Uh-huh.
Isn't there always?
Okay. So with that being said, it is a week, well, not even a week since we last saw one another because we had our fun Friday show.
Yes.
And I don't know how we're doing this, but once a month, Chrissy will be on with us where she'll be giving readings and and some leadership advice and some empowerment advice. I'm not sure
That's
what
awesome.
that meant, but I was there. Okay, some amazing
Yes.
advice and guidance and resources and all that good fun stuff. So that's cool. But as I was saying, we just saw each other. But what happened Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, Laura?
Well, let's see. We know there was the Super Bowl this weekend. That happened. That happened
Yeah.
on Sunday. I watched that with a friend of mine. Begrudgingly. I have complicated feelings about the NFL in general.
Okay.
And then, it's even more complicated because I cannot stand Tom Brady as a person or a player. I think that, he is, as a player, I think he's been caught cheating multiple times. And so I don't think I think his rings are suspect. So, but at the same time, growing up, my grandparents lived in Florida, and my grandpa was a huge Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Like he would put on every piece of paraphernalia that he had to watch the games on Sunday. So, I had to pull it for my Bucks because they haven't been
Okay.
in the Super Bowl since 2002. But at the same time, it's like they're quarterbacked with Tom Brady. So it's like, boo, Tom Brady, boo.
Right.
So, and it was a pretty boring game too. Like the Chiefs just got absolutely hammered. which, there's always questions about the calls that Tom Brady gets as a quarterback. So, you know, and then Bruno Mars, the halftime show did you watch? What'd you think of it? Yeah. Yeah. Right. I just like, I don't know. I know he's got a bunch of really popular songs and stuff, and therefore he should be like, popular, more popular. But I don't know. I think he should have done cameos with, people that he's done songs with. I think it would
So
have been, you've done songs with like Kendrick Lamar and, and I don't know. It was interesting to me.
yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm not a huge weekend fan though. Like,
Got it. Yeah, I had to look him up. Go, who was this? Oh, he's saying that. Speaking of singing that, it's so funny that actually gets mentioned. We were driving back from Ann Arbor recently, and the goal was to play music from our childhood and high school. And there is a 6 year difference between uh, myself and then the new individual. And with that being said, I was like, that song, really? Like, I was like, I thought that was older than that, or oh, I thought that was just yesterday. It's crazy when you go back and you think about hearing some of those songs. I am a Ace of Base, right?
oh yeah, oh
Hathaway,
yeah.
right? So what is love? That was one of my other ones I picked out. And what did he pick out? Dirt, dirt, get your all star. That was it. That was it.
Oh,
I
Smash
was like,
Mouth.
are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
gosh. Wow.
And then I
Yeah.
thought, oh, I was the boss of Laura by that time, and you were just
Right?
graduating.
It's true. It's sad for sure.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
you're a rock star. Get your game on.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah,
Well,
that was it. I was like, oh,
that song All Star by Smash Mouth has had like popular resurgence in the last, 5 or 6 years. So it's not like, that much of an oldie, I don't think.
yeah, but it's funny because then I'm like, well, what about this show? Because I'm like, did you ever watch Punky Brewster? Because they're coming back with Punky Brewster
Oh, they
reboot.
are.
And yeah,
Okay.
he was like, who? And I'm like, what do you mean? You don't know who
Oh,
Punky Brewster is? But he was
yeah.
born, they were born there. So it's just it's absolutely nuts. It's crazy when you start looking at age differences or
Yeah.
differences in people and relating to times via TV, right? Or
Well,
pop
but and
culture as a whole.
yeah, it's interesting too though, because my ex-sister-in-law was only like 18 months younger than I am. So
Okay.
like, we weren't too far apart, but like it was that just there's that much of a difference in technology and what like, what stuff we're exposed to that like, she has like references to cartoons and stuff that I'm like, oh no, I was like, I didn't watch that. That was like, that was for little kids. So it's, once you get into, there's a fine line on some of that too, especially when you get to that, that line of were you of internet access. How old were you when you got internet access? That's like the defining
Senior.
line.
Junior. I
Yeah.
walked into my junior year in London and they had this whole Wi-Fi thing set up. And I was like,
Oh
what is
wow.
this?
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
I was like,
yeah.
what is this? You can send an email to America? Like I had no concept. And
Yeah.
before that, my biggest thing was in third grade. We moved from Pittsburgh, Washington, Pennsylvania to Hawaii, right? I was 8 years old and I had computer classes.
Yep. Yep.
What? And I switched classes. What?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a defining moment in a childhood is when you're start going from classroom to classroom instead
Right?
of
How
being in
old
one
were you?
room all
How old
day.
were you when that happened?
My grade school that I went to is a little different. We did progressive education. So like you would have up to 3 grades in a classroom together. So you would have like like kindergarten was by itself, and then first, second, and third, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth were in classrooms
Ooh,
together. So I started switching classes in first grade.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's rough. Fourth and sixth graders in the same thing. That's a little bit of an age difference there. That's a little much, I feel.
it who knows? Everything is so different now. I
Yeah.
think there's only one school in the area, in the Northwest Ohio area, that even follows the progressive education model. But I really liked it because it because you were always mixed in with people of different
That's
grades.
true.
It helps with people. It helps with maturity as well.
Oh
So
yeah. I mean, because again, it's not like all of a sudden you're with these sixth graders. You've been with them
yeah,
from the get-go. So yeah, I can understand. What is that?
yeah,
Birds of a feather flock together, right? So
yeah,
you
exactly.
have been able to mature with them in that aspect.
Mhm.
So I get that. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
I think it is a great concept, right?
Oh
I just
yeah.
don't know how it would be because I remember I was in ninth grade and they were just trying out this concept of double teachers teaching English and social studies together. And I
Mm.
was always a great reader, and I don't know how I got in this class because history was not my thing. Nope. But regardless, I was in this class, and it was I can't think of my English teachers, but my social studies was it was just on the top of my tongue. Obenhauer. There it was.
Oh,
Miss
there it
Hogue
goes.
was her maiden name, and then Obenhauer was when she got married. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of the closest thing that we had to be progressive. Oh, that's not true. Our clinic was progressive. We had to sign a waiver for our parents had to sign a waiver to say that we could get medicine there, therapy there. What
Oh,
we would talk
cool.
about in therapy was quiet, and they didn't bring it there unless there was a need.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean, it was really really cool. And luckily, my mother signed that paperwork, and I spent many years
Hmm.
sitting in that therapy session.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I think mental health should be celebrated every day, all day. Even if everything is great, I still think you need to see a therapist. Everyone needs that safe zone in that conversation and to be able to bounce off of somebody in that safe environment. And for someone to make sure that you're still in that safe environment. So,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I am a fan of mental therapy. It has helped me on numerous occasions. I mean, I've been seeing one now for a long time. Just saying
Yeah.
long time. And I look forward to them, right? I uh I meet on mine on Mondays. So
Yeah.
that's a good way to
I
start
did,
my week.
I just finished up about 18 months of, really intensive therapy. I'm taking a little bit of a break from it right now because, I feel like I've gotten, a lot of my stuff together, but yeah, it was 18 months of once a week, an hour each week. And there was a lot, I was going through a lot of stuff. And my therapist, really helped me through a lot of that, and I don't think I would have been able to go get through as safely as I did if it weren't for having that extra that extra help from a therapist. So yeah, I totally agree. Everybody, and I guess so someone was telling me that Talkspace, which is one of the online ones,
Yeah.
is like only $45 a month, and you get unlimited access to a
Oh,
therapist. So yeah, the cost wise it sounded really really,
what was the name of
um
that one again?
Talkspace.
Talkspace. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that one. Yeah, someone was just telling me about it, and maybe it was because part of it was covered by insurance. Even maybe
Yeah.
that's how it was. So yeah, but I was really surprised how relatively inexpensive it is, compared to what like I was doing with my,
Hundreds, right? $199 an
right,
hour.
yeah,
It will give you a
exactly,
discount of just $99 an hour.
right, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's well worth it though. Well worth
It,
it.
amen. In the beginning, I used to get so mad because she wouldn't tell me what to do.
Oh
She
yeah.
just sit
Oh, so
back and
you
let
thought
me
you were
talk it.
Yeah, you thought you were going to get instructions.
Yes.
That's
Like,
not
okay,
how it
so here's the
works.
problem. What do I do to fix it? And she's like, well, where do you think the problem started? I don't, just tell me. And then
No.
4 weeks later, I'm like, oh, so,
You're
oh,
like,
there he is. We've been
Here's Miss
waiting.
Winky. Here's Miss Winky.
Always it's pretty. Okay, so mental therapy, check, done. Awesome, right? Done. What else did you do this weekend? You watched you
Uh,
watched football.
yeah, watch
You
football.
birthday
yeah.
dad for birthday.
Oh my
How did that
gosh.
go?
Oh my gosh. I was like, we had dinner on Friday and we ate so much food that I swear I was full for most of the day on Saturday too. We had steak, we had crab legs, we had birthday cake from Wixie's, and it was just the three of us.
Nice.
It
Have you
was
ever been
so
to the
good.
Blue Nile in Ann Arbor?
Oh no, I'm not been to that one. No.
So they took me to the Blue Nile in Ann Arbor. It is Ethiopian food.
Okay, cool.
Have you ever had Ethiopian food, Laura?
Yeah, I've eaten a couple Ethiopian places in Ann Arbor. I don't think Blue Nile though.
Okay, I never have. So first off,
Okay.
I had this spongy bread.
Yep.
Amazing, but you can't eat too much because it just blows up in your
Right.
stomach.
Exactly. It's
They don't
spongy on
tell
the
you.
inside too.
But we have this spread of a red pea, spicy hot pea, collards, vegetables, cabbage.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we got this tea. So Ethiopian tea is so sweet. Like it
Mm.
tastes like you have like 2 cups of sugar in it, but you do not. It's amazing. Best thing. And then we went to this arcade, Pete's Pinball. Ever been to Pete's Pinball in Ann Arbor?
No. No.
They have 75 plus pinball machines there.
Oh my
Think of a
gosh.
Dave and Buster's, but 1988.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's so fun. I
And they have
love
some
all that
upgraded
throwback
games.
stuff.
They have a lot of upgraded games, but
Yeah.
that whole arcade feel, you walk down like downstairs, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool thing. So yeah, it was a great weekend. So for you, birthday party, lots of good food, Super Bowl. What about during the week? How was school going?
Yeah, we've got we've got a big presentation this week, and so just trying to keep that's tomorrow. What's today? Wednesday? Yes, that's tomorrow. So just finishing up prep for that tonight and class tonight, and just out here living the dream, living the dream.
It's all we could do, right? One step
Yep.
forward. So,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if Mike is going to pop in. If he does, we'll go there. But let's just
Okay.
continue this conversation. Some stuff is
Okay.
happening, Laura.
Some stuff is
We have
happening.
we have a trial happening, and it
Yes.
seems the former individual. I can't even say the P word.
Yeah.
I can't. Trump is not happy with his attorney.
Well, I mean, I haven't been feeling super great this week, and I think I have like, just the winter sinus stuff going on. So
Oh.
I was watching the Mike DeWine press conference yesterday, and accidentally took a little accidental nap and woke up to that Bruce Castor, I think is his name, the first Trump attorney that was testifying. And I woke up and I was like, am I having a stroke?
Am I having a stroke?
I don't understand any of these words in the context of which they're being said together. Like, what is happening? That man was so unhinged and just like, and because I had my accidental nap, I had missed the House manager's presentation. So I went back and watched that video this morning, and that and I need to go back and watch Representative Jamie Raskin's presentation too, because his whole presentation was really moving. But yeah, it's just that it's wild, and I do think it's interesting that one Republican senator did switch his vote to, obviously the vote was stupid and they all should have agreed that it was constitutional, but one Republican senator changed his vote to vote that it was constitutional, and that was just based on the opening testimony for that. So I don't know, maybe there are persuadable senators once they see it all laid bare like that, and see the
That makes me have some faith, right? I'm like, okay,
right,
okay.
yeah.
But yeah, oh man, that guy, that one attorney was just like, it was so much nonsense. I couldn't even believe it.
Circles. I mean, it was just a vicious circle loop with a spoon, and then
and really, unless you're really plugged into the alt-right media system to know what those conspiracy theory means, if you don't know what they mean when someone's just like saying some of the stuff, it sounds completely unhinged. Like I said, it took me a minute to get oriented and waking up and being like, what is happening on the floor of the Senate right now? Like, this just doesn't even seem real.
George Washington has to be shaking in his grave, right?
I mean,
he's so disappointed.
Right. I know. I would like to think that Alexander Hamilton is, sitting somewhere in the beyond saying, "Get my name out your mouth." Yeah. Like, no.
God, every time you say that, all I can think of is Alexander Hamilton.
I know. I swear to God, that's the only reason people quote him when they quote Federalist Papers and stuff anymore. Like, I swear they go for Hamilton, which is, they do that because he because of the musical. But what's funny in the historical context of it is the decision to quote from Hamilton is quite telling in itself, because Hamilton actually really advocated for way more unchecked executive power than we ended up having, that ended up coming through in the Constitution. So, just even going, using Alexander Hamilton as your go-to guy is like, even that's telling on themselves a little bit. But you got to be a big old nerd like me to know that. So.
Not a nerd.
It's okay.
You're a big nerd.
I have Harry Potter flags behind me. Okay, I'm a nerd.
That is brand loyalty. Okay, that's all that is. Brand loyalty.
So what about you? Were you able to watch much of the trial yesterday, the start of it?
I got pieces of it. It is on my agenda tonight. I'm gonna go back like you and rewatch. I have special popcorn for this. I have snacks that I have for this because I really want to be a part of this, because I feel that they're going to find him guilty.
You think?
I think.
I hope so. I hope so. I mean,
I truly believe, like you just said, when the facts are all laid out, that at that point, how can you not?
Right. I mean, if only for, the
future of the Republican Party. Like, I just can't imagine why these people want him to have the ability to run for president again under their party. Like, he's completely destroyed the Republican Party and conservative politics in general. Like, why do you want more of that? But right. I don't know.
But listen, if Chipotle can survive, food crisis 101.
Do not come for me in Chipotle. Listen, that is what happens when you have more organic products. Okay,
it does happen. Listen, we're not perfect, and I think people forget that. I think they forget that doctors don't make mistakes. They're
doctors
not perfect.
Do make mistakes.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like as people, we think, oh my God, you diagnosed me incorrectly. You're blah, blah. people make errors. You know, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, no one is perfect. And it's the same aspect. There's a place on Reynolds. It is a bakery, and they too had some opportunities and was shut down for a couple days, and they're popping again.
Oh
Steak and
yeah.
Shake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Steak and Shake. There were pictures on social media of Steak and Shake.
Oh yeah, yeah, the one on Central. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, so at the end of the day, now, there's a difference between not cleaning. Let me phrase this. There's a difference between not cleaning and having buildup and grossness and so forth versus we clean the vegetables, but just it's still, I mean, you do it at home. Who's had food poisoning at home? I bet you every single one of us have had some form of food poisoning. I leave pizza on the counter overnight. Okay.
Ooh,
I
oh
will eat
boy.
mayonnaise sitting on a counter the next day. I'm like, oh, that burger's good. Okay. I love that Whopper.
Oh my gosh, Brian, you are.
Totally. I mean, come on. You cannot say that you have not went to a rallies in the last 10 years. We have all had food poisoning. Okay. No.
I have never been to a rallies, thank
Oh my
you.
God.
But I do voluntarily and soberly eat Taco Bell, so it's fine.
Susan was at rallies twice, both times got food poisoning.
I believe
She's
it.
like, I ain't going there anymore. I'm like, no,
I
give me that
believe
special
it.
mayonnaise, the one that hasn't been in the refrigerator yet. I like that room temperature. It's separated already. That's okay. Shake it.
Oh my gosh, that's so disgusting. That's
It's so
gross.
true, though, right? It's so true. But there's vegan mayonnaise. Like, there's everything vegan at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know.
Everything is vegan.
When I was over at my friend's, the friend that I watched the Super Bowl with, it was vegan chili with meatless crumbles. I was
I
like,
love the
don't.
meatless crumbles. Those meatless crumbles, those are the bomb. Let me tell you. We had them a couple weeks ago with as nachos. So good. So good. Now you want a steak?
No. Yeah, I was like, you know what's better is ground beef. Maybe some venison if we're getting fancy in the chili. Like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to do ground turkey, and Jackson's like, no, this is not real. He goes, this is a bird,
bad,
Dad.
though.
You can't give me
Yeah.
a bird.
I mean, you can. It's ground turkey's not. If I'm gonna make a substitution, I'll do that. But like, I don't know. I prefer ground beef, and you know, I try to justify it of, I get I buy I go in with like a family member, and we get like a chunk of a cow. So it's like I get like, I mean, we small order our beef, so we're not
Got it.
contributing to factory farming. That's the way I justify it. But yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry. I know that we're supposed to be thinking about the environment, and factory farming is
I'm not even
terrible for
gonna tell you.
climate change. I get it. But I love me some cow. Okay.
You
I
can only be an
love me some
activist for so
cow.
many things, right, Laura?
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
Exactly. I am a human. I have flaws. My flaw is that I am a carnivore.
She goes, I love meat.
Carnivore.
Have you,
Love
let me
it.
ask you this though. Have you truly ever sat down with someone and been educated on the production of meat?
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, okay. Do
Mhm.
you know?
Oh, yeah.
Look, I'm gonna ask you this because when I heard this, I literally cried. As they cried to me telling me this. Do you know that they separate the baby calves and so forth from their mom to fatten them up for?
You know what? I eat veal. So listen.
She goes, yep, sure did. Okay.
Listen, I know
You
I'm
own
a
it.
terrible
You own it.
person. I'm a terrible person for it. I get it. That shit is delicious.
Oh, I really hope that Andrew does not pick this show to watch.
I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for it, but
Well, I'm trying to get Andrew on the show to talk about this very subject. And he's like, well, let me watch one of your shows. If this is the show you're watching, I guess we're not going to have you on.
Sorry. I respect that decision for people to make that choice, and it's not easy to live
Well,
the
listen,
vegan
he does
lifestyle.
not push his
So I
agenda.
get it. Yeah.
You know, he doesn't push his agenda. He is very, when we do hang out, he's like, order steak, order meat, right? And I don't mind not or like I love me some tofu, right? I don't mind ordering not meat. I'm okay with that. So yeah, it's refreshing to hear his perspective, right? And
Yeah.
to be educated on that piece of that. And some of it really does hit home. Now, in saying that, I have a freezer full of meat. Okay. I'm like, I gotta get
Okay.
rid of this meat,
I'm
bro.
like, okay. So I was sitting over
So
here.
listen, I read this article and I want to ask your opinion on this.
Okay.
The new etiquette to phone.
Okay.
Okay. Phone manners, we'll call them. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Always use an emoji to convey tone.
No.
So no longer are just words appropriate. Now we got to throw a little emoji on it.
No, that's not, emojis are not always appropriate.
And here's another one for proper manners and etiquette. Always disconnect the phone. So many times people are like, okay, talk to you later. And then they walk off and they don't hit the end. And they go on and they have conversations.
I always hit end. I always hit end. Yeah, because but I do know there are people that don't, and I'll be like,
yeah, like what's going on over there?
Are you talking smack about me before I hang up? You're just like, you get just got out there and we're like, oh my God, do you know who I was just on the phone with? Like,
right.
I'm gonna hear
I
it.
do that.
I'm gonna hear it.
I do that. And the third one is saying goodbye. People are just like
I'm guilty of that sometimes. It depends.
Are you?
It depends. Yeah. It
depends.
I
say goodbye like 3 times. I'm like, it's been great talking to you. We should do it again.
No, I'm totally guilty of the not goodbye, or someone will be like, bye, goodbye, and I'll be like, yup, and then like hang up, or like, some other awkward. But that's just because I'm weird and awkward. It's not that like I'm trying, it's not like a thing. It's funny about them saying that you need to have an emoji is that, but if you use certain emojis, that means you're of age now, right?
Right.
You've been tracking this. As you see, I'm still rocking the side part. I did try to do a middle part with this hairstyle, and it
didn't work. You should
just to make
next week we should just totally just do it.
Oh no, it's so bad. It looks like one of the Stooges. Like, I can't remember which one that was, but it's so bad.
That's amazing.
No, I can't. I did do that on Saturday when I saw some friends and had them come over. Like, I was jokingly did like the middle part of my hair just to see like what they would say. And I'm really disappointed that nobody was like, what is freaking wrong with your head, girlfriend? They all just let me have this crazy hairstyle. I was like,
they're like, we just know how Laura is, baby. That's what she's digging right now.
they seriously, they're like, well, you're in your house, I don't know. And I was like, wow, I'm that off the hinges to people.
Right, that now that's the norm. Oh, that's funny. Well, let me ask you this. So with your circle, right, or maybe it's a dot, I don't know. Are you affectionate with like, hey, okay, I'll talk to you later, love you?
Oh yeah, I throw I love you at everybody.
Yeah. Do your parents and you end conversations with, okay, love you?
My mom and I do. It's my dad not so much, but I do with my brother and sister all the time. I'll do it with my friends. I'll text my 16-year-old niece just randomly and be like, love you. Out of nowhere.
Jackson and I are. I was thinking the other day, because we were at his last basketball tournament for the afternoon, and I was getting his shoes situated and zipping up his bag while he was running out to his team. And I said, good luck, bro. I love you. And he goes, love you too. And he ran. And this dude looks at me and he goes, you still tell your kid you love him? I said, yeah. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Weird. He's like, and it doesn't embarrass him? I said, I don't care. As long as Jackson is telling me he loves me back, it's not embarrassing him, right? Now, I get it, but I think this dad was so in shock, right? And I'm like,
that's called toxic masculinity. Right? That's what it is.
But listen, I will cry anytime I see a dad being affectionate to his children, more on the boy than the girl, but both will bring tears at the end of the day. But yeah, I think that is so genuine and so pure, to be like that. So I want Jackson, listen, we are a family that is not afraid of emotions, right?
Right.
Um, so it frustrates me when people try to dim that light on him. And I've had to kind of, on occasion, come back or clap back, um, to be able to put my point across. Because I mean, listen, nobody's gonna put baby in the corner, okay?
It's just so like people are so like, and the fact that you could say that sentence out loud and not hear how wild it is. You say I love you to your kid.
Right? I'm like, don't you?
Right. You don't affirm your love to your child?
Yeah.
Like, that's weirder, I think.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah. And the
You're
fact
gonna,
that look, the fact that you don't
guess
even
what,
think it's
guy?
weird to make that question means that
Right.
you need listen, you need therapy. It is
I was gonna say,
$45. Call, text, or talk space.
that's what I was about to say. Guess what, bro? It's way cheaper to tell your kid you love them now than to pay for their therapy when they're
Yeah.
in high school and in college.
Or when they drop out of college because they're running away from you. Okay, take care of it now,
Because
bro.
dad never said he loved me. Like, what?
Yep.
People are so
My father
wild.
never told me he loved me, Laura. I
Really?
never remember that man telling me he loved me. But I had a $125 pair of first con glasses in 6th grade. I had the best looking shoes. I had anything that I wanted because he provided his love through financials, right? That's how he showed me he loved me, but
Yeah.
never once do I remember him telling me he loved me. I remember being 8 years old. We had moved to Hawaii because my parents dated for 3 years before my stepfather, I just don't refer him to as my stepfather.
Yeah.
So they dated 3 years before they got married. So I mean, obviously there was a relationship there. So when we moved to Hawaii, I was 8, and I remember my father looking at me and telling me, "Boys don't kiss each other. You can't kiss me goodnight anymore." Right?
That's so
My
sad.
kid, listen, my kid is 9 years old, and I will please let him tell me he doesn't want to
It's your
kiss up.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your kid. Like there's not, I mean, there are rules for touching your children, but like giving your kid a kiss goodnight is well within the bounds. Like people, and this is I mean, whatever. There's like the repressed sexuality of the Puritans that settled this country are still, wreaking havoc on us today and making stuff like that be so overly wrought and whatever. Like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, that toxic masculinity thing is just it's so evil. It's so pervasive.
It is. It is. Guess who just popped in?
Oh yeah.
Mike Perdue. So let's bring Mike in. We'll talk to him about kissing.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be super excited about
Right.
that.
He'll be like, hello. He'll be popping in here shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. So any plans this week, Laura? What's going on this week?
Right now, just prepping for the big presentation in class tomorrow, and then get the dogs for the weekend. Oh, I got a busy weekend for.
Didn't you have the dogs last weekend? You doubled up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's I didn't see them for the entire month of January. So because we're helping stuff out with family, but I've got kind of a big weekend with sorority stuff to supervise, to advise, to monitor. So doing a couple of those things this weekend. But other than that, just living that pandemic quarantine lifestyle.
1 year later. Right? Mike, are you with us, my friend? You are on mute, and we don't get to see your face. We'd like to see your face.
Plus, isn't it supposed to be insanely cold again this weekend?
Listen,
like I saw a cold. Negative air temperature somewhere on there.
Oh, look. See, there's his sweater. Lead from the front. LFTF. Mike, you are on mute too, my friend.
Okay, now I'm off mute.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Well, you know what? I'm really angry with you. Let me tell you why. So let me tell you guys, man, I've known this man for probably 4-ish years at this point in time. Every time I see him, he tells me the same thing. Hey, Brian, I'm gonna get you a hat. I still have not gotten this hat. Okay. I
You
just
know,
need a hat.
like the whole pandemic happened, so it's been a while this time, but
Okay. Okay, Mike, I'm gonna give you this one. But I want a hat. Okay.
I still got you.
Okay. Okay. No, like I said, we met about 4 years ago when we were hanging out with my previous company. He came across, and that's actually through Thumbtack. Yeah, it was through
Yeah,
Thumbtack. So
yeah,
it's one of the
yeah.
platforms I've spoken about previously. And we were playing with your other brand at the time. Now you've had multiple brands.
Yeah.
I think we spoke briefly about your cooler, which I
Yeah.
thought was kind of cool. But this brand was the Three Kings Clothing, which is not was still around, which is a local clothing attire,
Yeah.
print press, everything done here locally. And then you've branched off to other pieces, being again lead from the front, working with community leaders and excelling them to the front of us to keep top of mind. So it's pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to hear that. Laura, we've chatted about that as well.
Yeah.
So, Mike, tell us what's going on, my friend. Let's start with your story. It was the 1900s. And go.
way back when. So, like you mentioned, I have done several ventures. The cooler being one. But I always like to give like a little bit of Toledo history and say like Toledo actually had a semi-pro men's basketball team, and I was on the ownership with that. And just like a little bit of trivia, if you ever get the chance to use this, the floor that is down at the Huntington Center is a floor that I actually purchased from the University of Temple while we were doing that basketball team back then. So they've done like some Pistons games down there. Of course, they've painted the floor, but that is the floor that they use. So just a little bit of Toledo trivia. But so way back then I was doing that. You mentioned the cooler. We had an iceless cooler called the Icebox Cooler. I was a partner in that company. And just recently,
it had like lights on it, right? Didn't it have like LED?
Yeah. So it was an iceless cooler, and it had blue LED lights, and it was light up blue for autism. The designer of that, his son had autism, and we were just trying to bring some awareness to autism. And that thing it got some eyes turning. So it was a pretty cool product.
Well, the great thing about it, Mike, real quick, is that the stuff that you touch, you don't just do it to do it. There's a reason and there's a purpose with you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's where I fell in love with that story, right? That's where I was like, wow, this is just different. This is just a different than a man being an entrepreneur, right? A serial entrepreneur at that. It's about someone that's making a difference in everything that you're touching in the community. And I think as a Black man, I think that is huge in today's climate. As a whole. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I want to make sure people realize that you have purpose.
Yeah, that is actually that's definitely the truth. So I was kind of, gonna walk into that point. As you have met my two brothers, Joey and Archie, that we started Three Kings Clothing, and that's where you and I met. You actually helped us out a bunch in the beginning there, trying to, kind of find our way.
Yeah.
What we really wanted to do with that brand.
Do you remember the first ad that we did? The first shirt?
Yes. We had no idea what we wanted to do. So it was just kind of, it was actually fun, going through that process for sure. But then, I started to see, how entrepreneurs were doing in this space, because doing Three Kings Clothing, I was meeting a lot of people such as yourself. And then I kind of was just getting everybody's story that, hey, it's a bunch of struggles that people don't show you. And, the ones that really make it are the ones that have some kind of reason behind it. You know, it's not just, hey, I want to start a business and I want to make some money. It's usually people that have some kind of reasoning behind it. And I wanted to tell those people's stories, which is why Lead from the Front came about. So what we do is we do just that. We kind of tell entrepreneurs or people in the community doing positive things. We tell their stories via 8 to 10 minute episode, you know. So it's kind of like a free advertisement for that person's business, and it lets the community and people know exactly what they are doing to be helpful in the community and what they're doing to lead from the front. So what you get is you get someone's story that has had the same issues that you had when you decided to quit doing what you were doing, has had the same issues that you've had when you decided not to start. And it's kind of like motivation for you to start that. And through doing that show, you know, of course, I just would brand the show, and I started wearing LFTF shirts on the show. People started asking for them, and it kind of just, the brand just kind of birthed itself. And it's now, it's just like, we're just fully branded. We went from just t-shirts and hoodies, and now
your athletic gear.
Yeah.
First off, it's hot, right? Like if I was an athletic guy, I'd wear it. I mean,
you're pretty athletic. You've done some stuff. I don't know if you've talked about that.
Yeah, you saw me fat. Yeah, I was fat with you.
Listen. You've done it's hard to, you know, to lose weight like that and not be somewhat athletic, you know. So
yeah. I no, all kidding aside, guys. I mean, your attire, it's young, it's fresh.
Yeah.
It's not just urban, right? It is universal. It's trendy. That's where I'm looking. It's really trendy.
Yeah.
From colors. I mean, look, it's not just about being black or red. I mean, you have pinks, you have greens. I mean, it's good stuff. Definitely check it out. Here's my question. Who's doing your photography? Because your photography is hot.
So I appreciate that. So we have a young lady here named Amber Miller Bird, the Bird's Eye Photo photographer.
I know Amber.
And you know Amber. And we've done several sessions, branding sessions. We actually filmed an episode with her recently, and that was a very, very good episode. So yeah, and we kind of do that too. We just try to spotlight people doing things such as what she's doing. You know, a lot of people know her just for doing the photography for seniors, for weddings and such, but she's also doing branding as well. So we just wanted to spotlight that with that episode. And
Success.
That's pretty good.
Check.
Yeah.
Laura, if I had an emoji, I'd throw it on right now. We were talking earlier before you popped in, Mike, on phone texting etiquette, and it is always disconnect when you finish the call. Make sure you say goodbye, and now use an emoji when you text to convey tone.
Absolutely. Or there could be miscommunication, right?
Right. I try not to talk anything relationship-wise via text because there's always a tone that gets off. Laura, are you a texter?
Oh yeah. I've gotten really bad about it actually. I used to prefer phone calls, but you know, in the last, I think that, you know, probably especially over the last year, because that's where, you know, we've been doing a lot more communicating electronically anyway. But over the last like 5 years for sure, I think I've gone to relying on text more than talking. I think it's interesting how much like the Gen Zers love to do FaceTime. That is like the bane of my existence is FaceTime. Like someone just pops up randomly on a FaceTime. Like, no, I need lighting and angles and eyebrows. And like, I can't do this just randomly.
Laura, have you duoed?
Duoed? No, I don't think so.
So on my phone, Andrew and I will duo because with his new phone, he doesn't have like where you can actually duo on a phone call, like video. Weird.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. So he has another app called Duo. But with this, as he's calling me, I see him live. So I know what he's doing before right?
Oh. That could be dangerous if people don't realize it, though. You know,
right? Because
I mean?
you're picking your nose.
Right?
You're telling your girlfriend to get it behind the door.
Exactly.
You know, Listen. That's all I gotta say. Now, Mike, talk to me about technology from 5 years ago to where you are now. Has that made it easier? Has that made it harder because now you're broader in your thought process on what you can do with technology as far as being an entrepreneur?
Oh, it's definitely made it easier. I mean, I would always say that it cuts out the middleman. You know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or whatnot, I don't believe that the lead from the front show, you know, actually could exist the way it does now. You know, we can put it out an episode and have 7 to 10,000 people see that episode, and you know, we don't have to go through a station or a channel or anything like that. We can just go use our own platforms. Now, granted, we don't own those platforms like YouTube or Facebook, but those episodes show up in our world on our website via lftfshow.com. So we do control that. So that is very different. And it's the reason why I encourage people to use technology to the fullest, because it gives you the opportunity to be in control of your own destiny per se.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Like platforms like
technology is
this,
a beast.
like, yeah, you don't have to go to a radio station or a state. This is your own platform, and you control who's on the show, what topic you have, and all that kind of thing. So that right there has put us into a good place if you're trying to be an entrepreneur.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate you popping in with us today. I appreciate you sharing your story, because I think that your story is pretty powerful. And the fact that you share stories, I mean, you're kind of like a book. Look at that.
That's good.
The fact that you share stories and you
That is
promote
good.
others, right? It's all
That's
about
good.
that. What is the next clothing line that you're looking at? So right now you have, I mean, hoodies and hats. Do you have scarves? Do you have gloves?
So we have coats, but the next thing that I'm gonna do is, and it's kind of different from a streetwear perspective, is we're gonna do trench coats, which is really, that's really kind of big, and I think it's a little different. So I think we'll be kind of at the forefront with that. So I'm excited about bringing the trench coats. Yeah.
I think, are you going to bring them locally first?
Yeah.
Or are you going to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in perfect weather. Throw me a trench coat, right?
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Oh, listen, could you custom design the inside?
You know what? That's a thought. We're still trying to figure out how we're going to brand these. I like things that are pretty clean and sharp. So I don't want it to be super logo driven, but I do want it to have some branding on it. It'll be small and kind of out the way, but the inside lining is a good place for branding.
Yeah, because for a dude, that's where we pop our color, right?
Yeah.
That's where, our belt, our socks, our tie, the jacket. I mean, I love a nice jacket that has a nice liner inside, especially if it's a pop of color. So yeah, I think if you could personalize that, that'd be cool. And here it is even more. Personalize it to your business. So now you open it up and you see Flying Joe's on the inside, right? I mean, what would Amy do to have your jacket, brought over? No, I think that'd be really cool. There's some really nice patterns that you could use. Yeah, I would be interested. Are you gonna go? I keep wanting to say plus size, but I'm an extra large, so I'm a 44 chest. How big are you going?
So we try, and this is a new thing, we just started 4 and 5X with our t-shirts and our hoodies and our sweatsuits. So now our coats are only up to 3X right now, but we are in the process of finding manufacturers to do 4 and 5X for those as well. So we kind of want to be able to be everywhere from small all the way up to 5X. But also this summer, we are going to introduce our kids lead from the front line. So that's exciting too.
That is exciting. So when you go 5X, are you looking at, is like big and tall? Like, for example, versus a 6'4" guy that's torso versus legs. Are you going that version 2, or are you just going 4 or 5 more like round?
Yeah.
chest?
So far, most of the manufacturers that we deal with these things it's just based on chest. You know,
Okay.
so yeah, so it's you know.
Well, I never really thought about that when I was a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was over 300 pounds, so I
Mhm.
never thought of that situation. I mean, at that point, my chest was a 58, my waist was a 46, 7, maybe,
Yeah.
and so I never thought of it being the big and guy long
Mhm. Yeah.
aspect.
Yeah.
So just something that I've learned in that processing. So,
Mhm.
Laura, do you have any questions? I've just been yambling around.
No,
No,
listen,
so
oh,
where
go ahead.
where where do you go to get your get the merchandise? You said lftfshow.com is for the show. Is that where we
Yeah.
go for the swag as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So all the merch is on the lftfshow.com website as well. And you know, like I said, all the episodes for the show are on there. All of the merchandise is on there, and it's real easy to find. Like you hit the shop tab, it'll break it down for you
Cool.
into women's, men's, coats, you know, hats, bags, whatever. So it's real easy to navigate.
Write this idea down. You should do a 3-month subscription for, like, I want to buy somebody something for their birthday. I pay $20 a month for 3 months. 1 month they get socks. The next month they get a wallet.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely.
The next month they
Subscription,
get a shirt or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
So that way you get them in a 3-month contract.
Yes. That the subscription based is where we do want to kind of head that way. Right now we try to stay in touch with our customers, and we try to make sure that like our experience is a little bit different. Right now we're actually giving away a puffer coat or a bubble coat. We just started this giveaway yesterday, and it's so easy to enter. All you have to do is text LEAD to 844-259-8974. That's it, and you're entered. That's it. That's all you have to do. So no following me and following 80,000 people, and so
Just a
that's
text.
Yeah, just all you got to do is text. Because we definitely like to be able to stay in touch with our customers and let them know, hey, we have another entrepreneur coming up on deck. We will send them a text. There's an episode. Watch this episode if you're interested in it. So yeah, you know.
I'm just saying, a billboard at Monroe and Talmadge only costs $75.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
And you can put the text number right there. People will remember it.
That's an excellent idea, actually. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, let us go ahead and wrap ourselves up. It is about hitting that time. Mike, we talked about the texting with you. We talked about how to get a hold of you for your take the lead from the front. I always want to say take it. Talk to us about Three Kings Clothing.
Oh, so Three Kings Clothing is also alive and well. We are doing a rebranding right now to kind of take that brand in a different direction. Not necessarily a different direction, but a more streamlined direction.
Okay.
So that website is still Three Kings Clothings with an S.com.
Three, the number, not
the number
word.
3. Yeah, the number 3. And so we're gonna we'll have some new spring and summer stuff coming up shortly, and I'm excited about that too. Shout out to Archie and Joey.
Archie and Joey doing?
They're doing great. They're doing great.
Yeah. Family's doing well?
Yes.
Good. COVID has taken a lot of us away to those face-to-face meetings. So Zoom and some of the things that we do have is always fun for me to be able to reconnect with some folks as well.
Yeah.
So what's going on your plate this weekend, Laura? We are into Wednesday. We still have 2 days. We're going into Valentine's Day. What do you have going on?
Oh, is that happening?
It is. I'm so excited.
So that's how I feel about Valentine's Day. No, I'll just be hanging out here with Miss Winky, and the dogs will be coming back this weekend, and we'll all just be trying to stay toasty warm while it's snowy out.
Do you buy gifts for your animals?
For their birthdays, not for Valentine's Day.
I bought Rocco's already. Okay, so that's
Wow.
all I'm saying. What about you,
You're a better dad than I am.
Have you already got your Valentine's Day gift? Are you prepared?
I am not fully prepared, but I will be.
Did you remember it was Valentine's Day Sunday?
I did.
Okay. Okay. Listen, Airbnb is the place to go. Let me just tell you. We do every other month. We plan. So they plan, I plan, they plan. So they are planning February. So I have no idea where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm just supposed to show up to their house on Sunday, and we're going.
Very good
And
deal.
I just booked a 100-acre horse farm in Indiana that is in between two lakes. And so I'm excited for Marches. And then in April, we're heading to Florida for our birthdays because it's our
Good.
birthday month.
Excellent.
I'm not a fan of Florida. They have alligators there. Let
Right.
me tell you. Like, I'm literally scared to go there. Like, I feel like I'm gonna get ate by
Oh
an
my
alligator.
gosh.
Like, and they're
I
like,
think you'll be
You'll
fine.
you'll be all right.
I am not going in the swamp in any boat. That will not be
No.
me. Nope. I mean, they just walk up to your house. They just-
No,
They just walk up.
they don't. Not
I've seen it on
necessarily.
Facebook. Laura, I've seen
Oh,
it
yeah.
on Facebook.
Okay, all the truth is on Facebook. All
Yeah.
the truth is on Facebook.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Any big plans for you, Mike, this next couple of days and weekend?
No. So I just kind of moved spaces to a different office. So I'm kind of, finalizing that, getting that all squared away.
Gotcha.
So that'll be most of the stuff for this weekend.
Got it. Yeah, it's gonna be somewhat easy. I think, Laura, you said earlier the weather's supposed to get crazy again.
I think I know it's supposed to get super cold. I saw like -7 as an air temperature. So I'm not super excited about that. And I think we're supposed to be getting some more snow, another couple inches of snow at some point.
Okay. Huh.
But that's all I know.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I'll have to look into that because that might, I hate to say it, but that might change this weekend. Okay, so with saying that, we appreciate you popping in here, ladies and gentlemen. Laura, why don't you take us away?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week on Connecting Communities with Brian J. and Laura Lee. You can find us on Facebook. You can find the episode on YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. You can find Mike at lftfshow.com. I know I'm on there right now looking at t-shirts and stuff, so make sure you go and check it out later too. And you can find me at Toledo Talks on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You all have a really wonderful week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Hi, guys.
See you.